What is up, guys? For this video, I'm going to be doing something that has pretty much been long overdue since I got this truck, and that is fixing the completely destroyed body mounts that are on it. So I'm going to go into the truck and show you guys what these old body mounts look like. But basically, and I know I've shown it in a few videos here and there, but I've never made a video where I talk about it. The cab on this truck has never sat straight, so if you look at it even right now, I've got jacks holding the cab up, but you can see it sits off to the side, and the side over there always sat about like a half an inch lower than the bed on this corner. And right now, like I said, I have jacks under it, so it's all sitting straight, but if I take the scissor jack out, this thing is going to drop all the way down. So what I've decided to do, because not only are the body mounts bad, but the brackets on the frame, like they're part of the frame, are also bad. Like they've rusted out where the body mounts go in because of the body mounts falling apart, and this truck sat in a grassy yard and moisture built up under it for 4 years while it sat. So the brackets need to be replaced and the body mounts need to be replaced. So I've got a plan to make my own brackets and basically make solid body mounts for the 4 rear body mounts on the truck. But before I talk about the actual plan for that, we're going to go down there and take a little peek at the body mounts that are on it. So I'll show you guys the good side first. This side I've got raised up pretty high because I was trying to slide the whole cab over, but I can't get it to move because I'm going to have to unbolt everything. But if you look right there, it's all washed out. There we go. You can see the bottom part of the body mount is just gone, like it's just not there. It's all rusted out right up in this area here. You can kind of see how jagged and everything it is. It's not supposed to look like that. As far as I know, it is just completely rusted out and no longer there. But this is the good side though. So in a minute I'll go show you guys the I'll go show you guys the bad side in a little bit. Here's another one. Once again, completely shot. The bracket isn't in that bad a shape, but it still needs to be repaired. But yeah, that body mount's not doing its job very well anymore. Alright, so down to the bad side. We'll get down here. You see the pile of rust. There we go. There's nothing left of this one. As you can see, there's a giant hole where the bracket is supposed to be, and it's actually cracked and split right there. And there's no rubber left on this mount whatsoever. And then the front one up here actually doesn't look that bad. But this one's pretty bad too. Look at that, it's all rusted and cracked and split. Yeah, not good. If you guys go way back, you can find the video of the GTI that I had that I fixed, and also the Pontiac Montana, my dad's minivan. That thing was pretty bad, and I got that thing fixed too. So this is nothing new to me. I have fixed way worse. This is something easy and simple to get repaired. So the plan is to solid mount the cab. So I'm completely eliminating the body mounts from it, because if it just needed body mounts, I would just put body mounts in it. But since the brackets also need to be replaced, it just makes sense from, you know, the purpose of the truck and saving money to just make my own brackets, since I have to do that anyway, and set it up so that I don't even need body mounts. I can just hard mount the cab straight to the frame, and it'll save me money, like I said, because all I have to do is buy the steel and the materials to make the brackets, which I have to do regardless of how I go about this. And it'll stiffen the chassis up a little bit, because the cab being solid mounted will basically work as a little frame tie, for a bolt-on frame tie for the frame. Rather than the frame just being supported by itself, the cab will kind of function as like a little unibody brace, which is kind of neat. So the plan for repairing the brackets is, I've got this steel here. This is 11 gauge, so this is some pretty serious stuff. It's pretty thick. This isn't the type of stuff that you can just walk into like your typical hardware store and get. This is some pretty legit stuff. I had to actually go to a specific place to get this stuff. It is 13 inches by 25 inches, so basically 1 foot by 2 feet. I paid $18 for this, so $18 for some 11 gauge sheet is not doing too bad. I'm going to make the new brackets out of 3 pieces, so I'll have the 2 side triangles and then the top square, and then I'm just going to weld them onto where the old brackets were. So I'm going to cut up the old brackets, cut them out, and weld these new ones on. I've got cinder blocks and scissor jacks holding the cabin up, and I have the frame up on jack stands. So what I'm going to do once I have the 4 body mounts off, I'm going to get the bed positioned right and slide it over on top of those jacks. I'm going to do the back body mounts first. I'm going to get the rest of these body mounts pulled out. It was pretty bad getting them out. I think well, here's one of the rubber bushings from that one back corner mount that's all destroyed. The bolts were pretty bad. Like I said, the body mounts are missing pieces, like they've fallen through the brackets and completely disappeared. So this has been long overdue. They've been bad since I got the truck, and it's the only significantly rusty part on the frame of this truck. So yeah, I'm gonna go and get the rest of these body mounts out. When I get the cab position, I'll probably let you guys take a little peek at that, and I'll get to starting on cutting these old brackets out and getting the new ones made up. Alright, I have gone and cut out the bracket from underneath. I don't know if I'm going to need a flashlight or not to let you guys take a little peek, but you can see the pieces cut off right there. And up here, there you go. The old bracket has been cut out. I've wire wheeled everything I'll be welding on. I cut this whole section off here and then kind of cut a square out right there. And I've got a real clear shot up to where the body mount bolt goes, so that is all taken care of there. I also have, I think I mentioned it before, but I have this corner of the cab sitting right where it needs to be. So I've got all the pieces for the body mount brackets for the two rears cut out. I basically just duplicated, like each bracket's going to be identical. I did go down there and just kind of eyeball everything and test fit all the pieces before I go and tack it up like I plan. I'm going to do the same thing for when I do the other side, because I have these two square pieces. These are both the same size, and then these two triangles. This is a 3-inch this way and 3-inch this way. This one's 5-inch and 3-inch. And I have the exact same thing there, two squares and then the two triangles. So basically what I'm going to have is these two squares are going to sit up like this together, and then I'm going to have the longer triangle on this side because I've got more material I can weld it down to, or it might have gone on the other side, I can't remember. I'll have to go down there and double check. Yeah, I had the longer one here going down on the left side so that there's more material to weld to, and then I had the 3-inch on this side. So I'm going to go and I'm going to tack that up together and then just do one little last test fit on it before I fully weld it. I'm going to fully weld the entire bracket out, like off of the truck, and I'll weld it obviously onto the truck after that. So also I have to go and disconnect the battery. Don't want to forget that. So I'm going to go and get working on this, and then I'll let you guys take a look at it probably before I get the bracket all welded in, just so that you guys can have one final look at it before it's done. Alright, wanted to give you guys a little tip. So here I've got the bracket all welded up and everything. Welded just on the outside, not on the inside, because I mean that's plenty. I don't feel like wasting a bunch of wire welding the inside when I don't need to. But you can see I got a bunch of grease here, and you can see that little oval shape right there. So anytime you're trying to locate where a bolt hole needs to go to be drilled in, something you can do is put some grease around the outer edge of the surface where the hole needs to go, and then just take the object that you need to put your hole in, press it up against it. The grease will stick to it, but the area where the hole is, like, see, I'm trying to line up with that hole right there, so you can see the grease all around the perimeter of it, but obviously not where the hole is at. And you can see where it imprinted all the grease on, and the spot that is clean is where the hole needs to go. So if you're ever trying to find a hole for something like that, all you need is just some grease or toothpaste or peanut butter, anything kind of sticky that'll do that, and you'll know exactly where the hole needs to go. So I'm going to go mark this with the Sharpie so that I don't lose its spot, and then I'm going to wipe it off and start drilling the hole in. And then once I've done that, once the hole's drilled, I'm going to bolt this thing to the truck. I got some bolts and stuff there, and I'm going to weld it to the truck, and then this corner of it will be done aside from needing to be painted, which I'll probably go ahead and do once I've got it all welded up and it's cooled off a little bit, just so I don't have to worry about it. And then it'll be time to work on the other corner. So yeah, we're getting close. This has gone pretty smoothly so far. Hopefully by the end of the night I can at least have these two back body mounts done, and then sometime tomorrow or the day after, I might be gone tomorrow, but at some point towards the end of the week I will come out here and get the other two body mounts finished, and we'll have a nice straight cab. I mean, this is a side that's sitting high, and it looks in person so much better than it did with the cab sitting straight. So I'm going to get to working on this, and I'll let you guys take a look at it when it's all finished up. Alright, well, I was almost done welding up that corner, and then I ran out of welding wire, so it's like 7:45 or something at night. I'm not going to be able to make it to Harbor Freight and get another roll of wire. So I'm just going to have to end it for tonight. Tomorrow I'll go out and get some wire, come back tomorrow and get that side finished up and start working on the other. Alright, it is the next day. I've been working on this thing just a little bit, taking care of some stuff, so I got the other body mount bracket completely finished. So I'll go ahead and let you guys take a little peek at that real quick. And I've been working on the other side. I also cleaned up the floor so I wasn't rolling around on a bunch of rusty crap, but it's got paint on it right now. It's all wet, but it is welded up on the side there, on the bottom, and then on the other side a little bit. And I also put some welds in the corners there just to re-support it a little bit. The other bracket I've just finished making came out a lot better than this one as far as welds go. But yeah, this is all done, bolted up, everything is good. The cab looks like it needs to be slid a little bit, but there is a little bit of adjustment in this because of the way the nuts inside of the cab go. They're actually just kind of free floating in there, so I can unbolt them and push the cab around a little bit. So the other side, well, here's the other bracket right here. So the welds on this one, I already took a flap disc to get all the little speckles off of it, but the welds did a lot nicer on this one. I ended up turning the wire speed down and going a lot slower to get more heat into it, and this one came out way nicer. But down here, as you can see, I got a ratchet strap just hooked up to the little door thing there, and then it's hooked up to the frame down here to pull the cab down so that it would sit straight right there. And then here I've got the other bracket cut up. I just need to come down here and clean it, but I'm gonna eyeball a few things on the bracket real quick and then figure out where I need to drill the hole for that bolt, kind of like what I did on the other side with the grease. I'll be able to take the ratchet strap off of the cab and just kind of let it sit. I'm going to finish up this rear bracket here, get it all on there, welded up, painted and everything, and then I'm gonna kind of resituate all the jack stands and stuff and start working on these middle ones. Oh, and I forgot to mention the middle ones. I think I mentioned that the bolts do not want to come out of them. The bolt broke, so this is how the one bolt rusted a lot. Like, look at how thin that is. That's what it's supposed to look like. So what I'm gonna do is come underneath of here. I keep setting the light down. I'm gonna go underneath of there and cut a square out of each side right in this area where the bolt is. I'm going to cut a square and then weld a new plate in with a nut welded to the back side in places where I cut the square out, and then that'll be where the new bolt goes. So I'll have to cut the bracket out of the way first so I can actually get the angle grinder in there, and then I'll be cutting that square out, and then we'll be all good, and I'll be able to put some new bolts in, and the cab on the truck will actually be mounted for once. I'm going to get back to working on this, and I'll give you guys another update later once I'm working on the center body mounts. Alright, I got the two back mounts completely finished up and taken care of. I just need to spray some of this paint on the one down there. I got rust converter on it, but I don't have any paint on it. So now it's time to do the two middle ones. Now I mentioned that the doors didn't work. On the driver's side the door didn't work. On the passenger side it worked fine, and I thought it was because the body mount was bad and like the floor was sunk lower, which it is. But the issue goes a little bit further than that than I thought, and luckily I have the time and the stuff to fix it. So right now, it's hard to kind of see, but if you look inside of there, everything is lined up like spot on inside of the latch mechanism for the door, right? So this is all sitting where it's supposed to. What I've discovered is the issue is the floor and where the one body mount up here goes to. It's all rotted out up there, as you can see. It started to collapse and separate a little bit now. It's only in this one spot that there is a very severe issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here, I'm going to cut the floor out inside of the truck so I can show you. I got the truck supported by a jack stand or a scissor jack at the moment up onto the fender to pull this corner of the cab up. Because I tried jacking it up from that part of the floor where the body mount goes, and I was like, well, it's not really going up and it's crunching. So inside of here, take a peek. It's this little seam that's way washed out. Let's try it. There we go. You can see the seam right here. That is part of where it is rusted out, is in this area here. So I'm going to pull my carpet out. I'm going to come in here and cut this back and get in here. This whole section of floor will have to be replaced, which won't be a big deal. I have plenty of steel, and the rest of the floor in there is pretty solid around that spot. It's just that one area where that comes up and that one seam is at. So I'm going to go in there, cut it out from the inside, and then go underneath and cut some of it. I'm going to run new floor pan. I have some thicker steel in my shed I can use for that I've had laying around. Some of it's left over from the Monte Carlo, actually. This side right there, as you can see, that's what it's supposed to look like right there. This side is perfectly fine. No rust whatsoever on this part. So I'll just make it look like this side. I have a gap that I can measure to make sure that cab is sitting as high as it's supposed to from the frame. And we will get that all fixed up. But you can see how much that other side has collapsed just by looking at this. And I think the reason that it collapsed was because that one body mount failed and it sunk all the way down. And that's why the door wouldn't work, is because the middle of the cab was sinking and kind of bowing down. So, because with it jacked up from the fender, it all lined up. So, yeah, a little bit more than I bargained for there as far as rust goes. But I have the time to do it right now because I'm off work for 2 weeks for this whole virus thing. So I'm going to go get this floor patched up first, make the new, I guess, area for the body mount to bolt up to, and then I'll make the new bracket. Will be all taken care of, and this cab will be sitting right for the first time in a long time. First time since I've owned it, at least. So I'm going to get to work on that, and I don't know if I'm going to be done with this tonight, but we'll see. We'll see if I can finish this tonight. If not, I'll work on it some more tomorrow, and we will finish this thing up. Alright, so I have hit a wall. I'm tired, ready to kind of go inside and do nothing for a little bit. So I'm going to think what I'm going to do, since this video is going to end up being longer than I expected, is I'm going to break it into 2 parts. And the first part is going to end right here with the 2 back body mounts done, and some investigation done on the front or middle body mounts. So I went real quick, and what I'm going to do is patch all the rust on the floors that's been there. So there really isn't anything but these 2 circle things. Those are like a plug. It's like glued in. It's not actually welded into the floor, and those are a rust trap. So I'm going to fix those. I got some 22 gauge steel, and I'm going to cut like a square or a circle or something out of it. That's thinner stuff right there. And I'm going to paint it black and then just like rivet it to the floor. And like put some black silicone or something on the bottom of it so it's sealed up. And then that'll solve those 2 things. And then for like this, the other floor over there just needs wire wheeled and some rust converter put on it again like I did last year. Except I didn't get it all, obviously. And this side, this area here and everything like in this area is fine, but that corner up there is what I have to cut out. That's where it's rusted through. You can actually, there's a spot right here where there's actually a little tiny hole. So actually, there you go. There we go. Yeah, you can hear that. So I'm going to kind of cut around this way. I'm going to cut past that probably up there, maybe. I don't know. I'm going to have to find out where the solid parts of the floor start and then just kind of start from there. But I have some 16 gauge steel that I'm going to use for the floor because it's thicker and it needs to be pretty thick because it holds the cab up. Yeah, I'm going to quit rambling. I'm going to end this video here. We got the back body mounts done. We've assessed the damage on the middle ones, which is more severe than I thought. I thought the middle ones were going to be easy, but apparently not. So next video, we will get the middle body mounts done. We'll do a little walk around of the frame underneath just to add some more content for you guys, and that'll be it. So I want to thank you guys very much for watching me work on this rusty old truck, and I will see you guys in the next one.